I was just gonna ask where the intro was, and I forgot I hadn't made the other one yet.
Yeah, I told you I needed a
Yeah, you need
crash
something.
or the stock market type beat. Like I need a Bay of Pigs type beat. Like I need that. And then I create a new intro.
Yeah, I gotta get some harder drums off Splice because I don't make my own drums. I'm too lazy for that. Anyways, welcome to Politics Usual episode. This is 42.
Yeah, 42.
The 42 Doug episode. I only say that because this nigga was listening. This nigga was listening to him earlier.
Turn volume 2, baby.
But we got the whole cast and crew here this time. Ahead of our album of the year episode. So Ronnie is here, Fee is here. I guess it's the second to last episode of the year. Are we gonna do another one after album of the year?
That might be it.
Yeah. Because I mean the next time to record would be either Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve.
Yeah, so yeah.
Christmas or New Year's Day actually would be the next time.
So you know what? We'll just say that for all intents and purposes, the album of the year show is the last show for 2020, and then we'll resume in 2021.
Yeah. So we were wondering what the hell we were going to talk about, but we figured that out rather quickly. Where y'all want to start? Should we start with Randy?
Yeah, we might as well just hop into Randy's comments. Yeah.
All right. So earlier on Terrell Owens' podcast, Randy Moss said T.O. asked him who he thought the best receiver of all time was. Randy Moss said himself. And then T.O. said, I don't hear it, Ron. And then he said T.O. second, and now here, and Jerry Rice third. Or fourth. Said third or fourth.
Yeah, he said third or fourth, which I don't really know. Oh, man. Like, maybe, asking those type of questions is, like, what are you talking about? Like, because if we're talking about NFL careers, then there's nobody who has a greater career than Jerry Rice.
Well, so to me, I felt like the way T.O. phrased it is he said best. I know this says GOAT underneath, but T.O. said best. Mm-hmm. And graded a lot of people when this is the whole LeBron MJ thing or the Tom Brady before Patrick Mahomes, the Tom Brady Aaron Rodgers thing. It's like, to me, best means I'm better at it than you. Like, it doesn't mean that I've accomplished more than you. It means that we both have done something on the same level and I'm better at doing it than you are. Not that my accolades are better. Like, the example I always give people is Lupe Fiasco is a better rapper than Jay-Z. He's not a greater rapper than Jay-Z, but as far as just rapping ability, Lupe is better at rapping than Jay-Z. Like, LeBron might be better at playing basketball than anyone ever. So if you're going to ask me who's the best at playing wide receiver ever, I'm not going to argue with Randy Moss.
Yeah, it's Randy Moss.
The only person I would argue other than Randy Moss is Megatron. That's the only other person that I would see. And I would say T.O., but he led the league in drops too many times for him to pass Randy Moss to me.
See, all right, so this is the perfect platform for me to get into the T.O. drops thing because I am a T.O. stan basically. I remember when Jerry Rice took him and Ty Streets under his wing and he was like, "Hey, if one of y'all gonna pan out." So T.O. did lead the league in drops, but also look at T.O.'s targets. So and once again, this isn't to get into because it did get worse over the tail end of his career. He had way too many drops, but he had so many drops over the course of his career because of when you equal that to his targets, it balances out basically. But I say all that to say this. I think I have a preference to T.O. because I think T.O. is the complete package in a wide receiver. He's one of the fastest, strongest, and also one of the best blocking receivers we've seen in the same package. But like I tweeted AJ earlier, Randy's highs are way higher than T.O. The things he did at 75% is better than we've ever seen. So yeah, Randy is true enough the best receiver of all time. But yeah, so I have no argument with how Randy ranked. I do have I do have a question for y'all, and this comes off the heels of the I am athlete podcast. Where would y'all put Chad Ochocinco? Because he thinks he's in that conversation. So where would y'all put him, honestly?
We talking best or accolades?
No, best. This is the best conversation.
His footwork is among like the best like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like his footwork is definitely up there. I mean, I don't like just. I know I fuck around and forget somebody. Like, let me just go to and see where I would get to him. Randy, T.O., Megatron, Jerry.
For me, I probably put Larry Fitzgerald.
Fitz. Probably have to put Marvin Harrison somewhere in there.
Who?
Harvin Marison. I'm sorry.
Okay. I know that guy. I don't know.
I'm 88 for the Colts. He'd have to go in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little further down ability wise, I would say. But I mean, yeah, he probably be top 10, like off best.
Yeah.
Like now that I'm just going down and just thinking of people who were just better and more talented than him. Like, yeah, it's not a lot.
So here's what I think. I think my GOAT tier is Randy Moss, T.O., Jerry Rice, and if you want to put that in whatever order you do, that's your preference. But my second tier, I have people like Fee said, Larry Fitzgerald, Torrey Holt, Megatron, and then that's the Ochocinco level. Like he's like at that level. And once again, that's no knock to him, but I think when you consider like how many great receivers we've seen over like just our lifetimes, like I think he's in like that second tier, which is still pretty good.
Yeah,
like I don't know, because then like there's people like Isaac, like I don't know, I would probably have Ochocinco or like
Andre Johnson,
like Steve Smith, like Anquan Bolden was a really talented receiver. Like I try to look at like how long were you in your prime and how long did you dominate your prime? Like T.O. dominated his prime. I think he led the league in touchdown receptions like 7 times. I think I seen that earlier. Like Randy Moss had a fairly long prime. So did Jerry Rice. Best versus greatest discussion all the time. Boxing for this.
Yeah, that's a good example right there. Yeah, so when we have this like best versus greatest, is basically like just raw talent versus like accolades. so yeah, but when you take that into account, then yeah, Randy Moss is easily the best I've ever seen because he's unreal.
Yeah, like to me, like he has accolades too. It's just that he had that like that exile in Oakland.
yeah.
Which I think definitely hurt his numbers. But like to me, Randy Moss is like the thing that I like to call the law of universal balance, where like the universe ain't ever gonna give you somebody that has the body and the mindset at the same time. Like because it's if Jerry Rice had Randy Moss's raw abilities, like it just wouldn't have been fair. Or if you put Jerry Rice's work ethic into Randy Moss's body, it wouldn't have been fair. He'd had 2,000 yards every season.
I don't know. I think
you can't have that.
I think DK Metcalf is going to be. I think him going to the Seahawks and being Russell Wilson, taking him under his wing and getting him to train NFL, like to become a professional wide receiver. I think DK Metcalf, if he stays healthy, he has a strong possibility of getting up in that GOAT wide receiver conversation because he is to me, he's the second coming of Terrell Owens. Like he is as fast as T.O., as strong as T.O. He runs good routes. He catches the ball. He can block. Like he pretty much can do everything that you want out of a number one wide receiver. And he's so young. So I think he has given health, I think he has a good chance to get up in that top 5.
Yeah, that's a good comparison because looking back at that Ole Miss team, like the Ole Miss team was stacked at receiver. You had AJ Brown. Yeah, you had Van Jefferson, who then transferred to Florida, and then you had DeMarcus Lodge. You could legit make the argument that DK Metcalf in college was the third best out of all of them. He had like the raw ability, but he just didn't have a chance to put it all together. So landing in Seattle was perfect for him because he has a vet quarterback, and then he gets to like learn the nuances of the game. And also he's like he didn't have to become like the guy immediately. He had a chance to work into that. So yeah, I think that T.O. comparison is pretty similar because T.O. came out of like Tennessee, Chattanooga. Like he wasn't like he had to put work into his body too. Like that's the thing. Like T.O.'s like first 2 years in the league, like he wasn't swole like he was. Like he had to put work into his body. He had the raw ability. So yeah, I do see some DK Metcalf comparisons there. I think he can be that guy.
Hey, at least he ain't go overboard with it like David Boston did.
Nah, David Boston was
David Boston was
David Boston was like shaped like a New York Yankees power hitter. Like he wasn't even a wide receiver. He was like
he like came into camp one year, was like 280 or something absurd like that.
And they was like, bro,
lay off the roids, bro. What the fuck is you doing? It's not necessary, man.
Like you on the good juice, like we already know.
All right, let's take this conversation to other positions. Like, all right, running back, who would you have as best ever? For me, it's Barry Sanders.
Yeah, I was going to say this because Fee said something interesting, and I think we all said something like interesting. I think the GOAT NFL player ever is by far Barry Sanders because he has the combination of raw pure ability, something that we've never seen before, and the accolades. The thing Barry Sanders,
we say boat. He's the boat. Like
right. So exactly. So yeah, what he did we'll never see again. And think about Barry Sanders, like it is equal parts him doing it by design and equal parts just playing in Detroit for 10 years, but we've never seen Barry Sanders at his worst. And that's all we know. We know those 10 years of him just being like the best running back we've ever seen. So like for my money,
15,300 yards in 10 seasons or something. Let me look up the exact number.
Yeah, so he's the best NFL player I've ever seen, and it doesn't matter position. Like he's the absolute best.
Yeah, Barry Sanders was my favorite player growing up. So I will piggyback.
15,269, 5 yards per carry, 99 rushing touchdowns in 10 seasons. 5 yards per carry. That is absurd.
Absurd.
Like that is because like Jim Brown is like I think him and Jim Brown were like the only two that had like 5 yards per carry. Because some people say Jim Brown's like the greatest NFL running back, but I'm like I ain't see Jim Brown play, so I can't get into that. Like,
hey, what are you doing?
But like me personally, Barry Sanders is like the best running back I have ever seen. Like it was just obscene the way he would just shake the shit out of niggas. And it was like he either got tackled for a loss because Detroit was so bad, or like made 6 niggas miss and got like 20 yards, like almost every time I saw them play. Like the shit was incredible.
It was a movie every time he touched the ball. He had the most spectacular 1 yard gain you will ever see.
Like the shit Dante Hall used to do on kick returns was like Barry Sanders every play. Like the spectacular Dante Hall kick returns we used to see. That was like Barry Sanders just regular day. Just trying to get a couple yards.
Barry would get the ball and be like, "Well, I guess I'm out of room now. Let me just go to the ground." Like I've never seen anybody get a clean hit on Barry Sanders. And if you have, please show me video evidence. I've never seen somebody get a clean hit on him.
Yeah, like he
until I'm finished.
I wanted so bad for it. I wish he could have got the rushing record. Like I do. Like I wish he would have just stuck it out one more year. I understand why he didn't, because getting hit in the kidneys every other play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something about them Lions players leaving in their prime and just let it go, bro.
Again, universal law of balance. If Barry Sanders is playing in Dallas, the rushing record would have been destroyed.
Like, you know what upsets me though? Hold on, I'm about to show you what upsets me. Like when we talk about like running backs, this upsets me the most. This guy got the rusher title.
This
this washed up.
He's
guy.
So nasty, bro. But could you imagine if Barry Sanders had the line that the Dallas Cowboys had in the 90s with Larry Allen and all them goons they had, like
the era of true hog mollies. Like just imagine if Barry Sanders got to run behind that. It wouldn't have been fair. He'd had 20,000 yards.
Barry Sanders had, and once again, no disrespect to Herman Moore, but Barry Sanders had Herman Moore and Scott Mitchell.
And then didn't he have Charlie Batch after that?
Yeah, and Charlie Batch for a little while.
Batch. Charlie. Yeah. So who quarterback? For a while, for me, it was Aaron Rodgers. Now I think it's clearly Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, because I thought Aaron Rodgers was doing things like, okay, Aaron Rodgers did things we never seen to that point. Mahomes is clearly influenced by Aaron Rodgers, but he took it to a whole different level. Like the things Pat Mahomes is able to do, I didn't know they were physically possible. And I guess this comes from his baseball background because he throws like sidearm, you know, and that comes from his time of I think he played shortstop, right?
He more than likely, I'm assuming he plays shortstop. Like Kyler Murray is kind of in that same class as Pat Mahomes. He's not as polished yet, but usually the best athlete at a school plays shortstop when they play baseball, and they're starting to put the best athlete at quarterback now for football. Not running back, not wide receiver. So you're getting these more dynamic players at quarterback.
Is that there's one video that Cliff Kingsbury posted when Pat Mahomes got drafted. It's a Texas Tech practice. Pat Mahomes rolls out off his back foot, like leaning backwards, throws a 70-yard pass like beautifully, and it lands right in the breadbasket. And like the whole practice just got hyped because everything I just said is everything you tell a quarterback not to do.
Right.
But he did it perfectly. And he's doing things that are like really that are physically like impossible. Like you're not supposed to do that. Your arm isn't supposed to move like that. The ball isn't supposed to move like that when it comes off your fingertips. He's doing things we've never seen before.
And to think this man was out here playing damn recreational basketball on a rookie contract when was risking what he ended up getting $460 million or something obscene like that.
Oh yeah, he got he almost
out here trying to cross niggas over in the wreck when you got 500 of them things at stake. Boy, you better sit your ass down some damn where.
Definitely hope he doesn't have a motorcycle. Please.
Yeah, don't Jay Williams yourself.
Nah.
Please do not Jay Williams yourself. That set the Bulls back forever. This stupid ass.
Ooh.
And then I remember it because I remember watching the interview with him. Like they were interviewing him, and he's like spinning out on a motorcycle on the sidewalk. He's like, "Yeah, it's in my contract not to do, but I love my motorcycle. I'm gonna ride it." Then like a couple months later, ass got an accident, fucking up the church's money and shit. All right, anyway, on to the next topic. I guess that wasn't as outlandish a statement as we thought. Only because of the subtext. But yeah, when y'all are talking about best and GOAT, and I wish sports media would do this, say what you're talking about. Like, stop trying to force they're not necessarily the same thing. We want them to be, but they're not. Sometimes the person that's the best at something ain't the greatest at something. Look at music. But so what Fee, you introduced this one. You were the Wayne one.
Oh, so there was a rumor that Lil Wayne has, like, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, he reportedly sold his masters for $100 million. Well, now they're saying that he sold Young Money's masters along with that,
which would include Drake and Nicki Minaj's.
Yeah. See, all right. See, man, those situations are so bad because, I know like it came up before that Drake was less than pleased with his deal. Of course you are. You're signed to like 3 different people. You're signed to like 3 different labels. And
signed to another nigga who signed to another nigga.
Exactly. And so with that Young Money on, bro, like Lil Wayne was doing to all his artists what Baby was doing to him. So it's wild that that music from that era, like he was just like, okay, let me just sell this off. So I don't know the origin of this of this rumor, but I mean it's wild if it's true because like you say, you have those Nicki albums, that includes the Lil Wayne albums, that includes Drake's first 2.
So yeah, this is Music Business Worldwide reported it 2 days ago, and then Revolt reported it yesterday. Hot New Hip Hop 4 hours ago. Hot Snobriety 13 hours ago. They're all saying reportedly. To answer Lee's question, Lee just asked, "Is Jordan the best and the GOAT?" I think you can find people that were better at basketball than MJ. Now, can you find someone who was better on, like, there's argument to be made that he wasn't the best defender. He's probably the best scorer of all time. Well, actually, KD might have that on him now.
Yeah. I mean, KD has that.
Yeah, like KD's probably the best scorer we've ever seen. Like Scotty might have been a better on-ball defender than him, better team defender than him. So
I think Jordan is the best combination of like
the best offensive and defensive player that we've ever seen.
Like he's like the greatest example of like a jack of all trades, basically. Because typically a jack of all trades is like a role player guy, but he's like the best combination of like all those key things we've seen in one person, and then he has the accolades like nobody's ever like. Yeah,
and he's psychotic.
That's him, and I take offense to that.
And he's psychotic. So I would say, like, if you want to say LeBron's better at basketball than him, I'm not going to argue with you. To me, it's like LeBron is great at so many things as well. Like, so I'm not going to argue with people who say that. And there are people who talk about Oscar and how he was great at everything. And you could look at some people like maybe someone like Tracy McGrady, how skilled he was at his peak, like Grant Hill when he came in the league. Like, there's a lot of people who were like
Kendall Gill, like.
Yeah, people who just never put it all together. So,
Kendall Gill.
He was just like, yeah.
I'm just rolling with it. I ain't even peep until I see Fee's face. But yeah, back to Young Money. Yeah, if it is true, yeah, that stinks. But I mean, so Lupe, as much flack as he's been getting on social media these days from the anti-vax crew, in the Hoteps. He said something earlier this year, actually, that made a lot of sense. And he was like, well, he said, sometimes you have to sell your masters because what good are your masters if you can't do shit with them? He's like, sometimes if you don't have the infrastructure to actually make money off of your masters, what good is intellectual property if it's not making you anything? He was like, so if the point of intellectual property is to make you money, he was like, if selling it to someone can get you more money than you would have made alone, even if it's going to make them more money, there's no guarantee it would have made you that money.
That's what I like with Lil Wayne, outside of the Carter 3, and what do people really think he's going to use his masters for? Like, what hood movie is putting The Block is Hot in there, and how much money is that movie going to make playing The Block is Hot? The Block is Hot outside is not on any commercial. Lights Out, nothing on Lights Out, nothing on 500 Degrees. Like, Lollipop is really one of the only songs that I could see him making money off of, and maybe like songs from the Carter 3, but outside of that, what is he holding on to those masters for? Like, he's probably not going to make no money off of them. Like, and this is what people fail to realize. There was an article in Forbes I read today. If you sell your masters, you're not necessarily selling 100% of them, and you still can have some say so of what you're going to do with those masters when you sell them. Like, he still might be able to choose what songs he's going to perform, choose what the people he sold them to can do with the music. Like, he still may have a say, so it might not be as bad as people make it out to be.
Right. And that like, I'm all for like artists owning their shit and creative, but like you can have a smash. Like, so an example I'll use here is the Pusha T talking about him and his brother doing the McDonald's jingle, and they got $500K for it. Well, and people are like, man, that song made millions. It wouldn't have, that jingle doesn't make millions without McDonald's behind it. So him, like, yeah, he probably should have asked for a percentage of it, but at the time, him just writing that probably ain't worth $500K to anybody but McDonald's. This is what McDonald's turns around and does with it. You can have $1 million idea, but if you don't have the infrastructure to execute it, what good is that? So, like, yeah, he might be getting a good deal out of this. Now, given Lil Wayne's history of business transactions, I doubt he's getting a good deal out of this. But if you can't do shit with your intellectual property and somebody else can, like, would you rather be broke holding on to $1 million idea that made $10,000, or sell it to somebody who can turn it into $1 million idea and you get $200K of it? Like, it's all about what you're willing to give that up for. Like, now that doesn't condone like you know, people like the New Edition story, TLC, the stuff Meg reportedly went through. Like
my boy, which one of them was on Now Give It to Me, and Jay-Z stole that nigga.
Yeah.
But, like, okay,
no, not
so
Sparks.
You take Jay-Z off that song. He gave them 10,000 for that. Was Sparks gonna make 10,000 off that song? No, he wasn't. He wasn't, because nobody wants to hear him on that. So
and all he was saying was a revamp of what Rick James was saying. Like he just remixed what Rick James said. So like, yeah, like, was Jay wrong for doing him like that? Yes. Was Beans wrong for alerting Jay to the fact that Oskino was there and didn't hold his publishing? Yes, Beans was wrong for that. But that 10K is probably more than what Oskino would have made off of that. Like, let's be real. I mean, not Oskino, Sparks. I always get them niggas mixed up. Like,
I mean, because Owen Sparks. So yeah.
When you heard a Sparks album, when you heard a Sparks single, when you seen Sparks headline the concert, and that is not a diss to Emilio Sparks. I like Emilio Sparks, but he was not a mainstream viable rapper. So yeah, like, Jay was wrong for that, but that song made way more than if Sparks would have put it out, or even if it was and Sparks, or if it would have been if that shit would have ended up on a State Property compilation. It wouldn't have been as big if that was just his song and maybe Young Chris and Beans jump on it. Like it wouldn't have been, and Pharrell wouldn't have been on it. So like, yeah, that's an example of somebody being able to take their idea further. Like, Pharrell's not jumping on a song with Sparks.
No.
Pharrell ain't jumping on a song with Beans. Like, Pharrell only jumps on songs with people that he knows it'll be a hit for, like, or he believes it'll be a hit for. No one in State Property will Pharrell hook for the low. Like, who gets Pharrell hooks? Like, seriously,
hit this and then go to YouTube, hit the home.
Like yeah. So yeah, it's a good, like, yes. Should artists like be smarter about their intellectual property? 1000%. As a matter of fact, our buddy Joe Code is constantly tweeting on Twitter how you can maximize your money in marketing and increase your visibility. He does all that. His newsletter, the artist guides, the DIY artist, he's constantly talking about that. So like, there's ways to do that. But like, yeah, if somebody comes up and says, yo, I want this, and a company giving you $10 million for something that they can make $100 million off of, isn't you getting robbed? Because you probably can't make $100 million off of that.
Then just watch Netflix. I'll get finished. So
now it seems like robbery, but if you can't do nothing with it, like, yeah, like the Lior once said to Lupe, like, when Lupe asked for his like, they wanted Lupe to sign a 360 deal, and he told Lior, he was like, I'll do it if you give me my masters. And Lior said, well, what are you going to do with them? Carry them around in the suitcase? Like, it's a dick thing to say, but like, at the time, like, yeah, what was Lupe gonna do with his masters? He probably wasn't gonna make that much money off of them.
But I mean, like, going to him, like, in his catalog, like Kick Push, maybe Hip Hop Saved My Life, Superstar, maybe something off of Lasers. Like, he doesn't have too many songs where people are gonna be coming and knocking, like, hey, Lupe, can we fucking get
now?
this?
I will say Superstar has a ton of applications. Like, and that's one, like, I was reading the interview when he was talking about that a few years ago. He was like, oh, when I wrote it, I knew what it was going to be. He was like, this is going to be walk up baseball. This is going to be played during like the NBA finals or the All-Star game. He was like, I knew right when I wrote that when it was going to be what it was going to be. So like, but yeah, you're right. Like, there's not a lot of application. Now, I will say Lasers perform live. You realize, like, he actually knew what he was doing with that album. That's an album he could perform live forever. But like, yeah, sometimes you can't do shit with you. And to hear that from him, as much as he's railed against major labels for basically his entire career, like ever since the Food and Liquor leak happened, like, you realize, like, yeah, like he definitely, coming from him, I can't be mad at that tape. Can't be mad at it at all.
I don't know. We might hear King Nas in one of those Black McDonald's commercials one day. You never know.
Come on, man.
Gonna be in Coming to America too with McDowell's, bro. Come on, man.
I'm the man now. Well, someone eats a burger. Actually, you know what? I got the perfect marketing scheme for that. A kid no longer wants to get Happy Meals, but they graduate to like the regular meal. I'm the man now.
Getting the big Mick, bro. Hold the big Mick. I'm the man now. Hey, Lupe, bro. Let me get that punch. Let me get that publishing, bro. We just made a hit for you.
No 4-piece McNugget for me anymore, Dad. I'm getting the 6-piece. I'm a man now. I say that because that is some shit my nephew would do. Oh man, speaking of Lupe, well, to wrap that up, if he did do that, like that is fucked up. Like I understand why Drake. Like someone made the point that the reason that Drake was touring damn near 365 days a year was because he couldn't make no money off his music, and that's true. Like you even got Jay Prince taking a cut of what Drake makes.
Man, they passed that boy around. Like they did, and I saw it coming. They did him dirty.
Like yeah,
the cold thing is he could shake up the whole music industry if he don't sign no deal.
He goes indie, it's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
If he's one of the artists that if he went indie and or if he just decided not to put his album on streaming, be over with.
Mm-hmm.
Be completely over with. Streaming would be done if he was just like, nope, not putting it on there. You can only buy this.
If he took the Nipsey Hussle approach, and I think Nip was ahead of his time with the that for mailbox money? I think
mailbox money. Yep.
If he
so the only reason I think Drake wouldn't be able to do that is someone would buy it and upload it. Like unless he had a way for it not to be able to be uploaded, which is damn near impossible because the hackers will find a way to rip anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes an approach like that works best when you're not that famous because it's limited quantity anyway, and the general public's not just on Google looking for your music.
You want to know the best album drop I've seen in recent years? So I want to say it was Pilot Talk 3. Like Terrence is like Pilot Talk 3 is coming on this day. You could pre-order here, pre-order on my website. So the day came around and people were looking on streaming services. They're like, "Where's Pilot Talk 3?" He was like, "It's in the mail. It's coming to you." So when people finally posted pictures online, he sent out a flash drive with the album on it.
Oh yeah.
That was the only way you could get it. And because he did that, like people were like real sacred about it. Like you couldn't hear that album for weeks, even months, like after it came out, because people were like, nah, he put that much effort into this. We're not sharing it. You just gonna have to get on your own.
Yeah, like if you're one of those people that has like a loyal core following, you can do stuff like that. Like I think it's harder when everybody is just looking for your shit. Like Beyonce couldn't do that, Jay couldn't do that, Drake couldn't do that. Like the bigger artists in the game can't get away with no shit like that because people are out looking for their music.
Right.
Like when you're bigger, it's a lot harder for you to just make a limited sample size because once it hits the internet, it's like Tenet, for example. Like the movie Tenet couldn't do no shit like that. Because once like that's the main reason that who is it? Dennis Villanueva is like so like he doesn't want Dune going on streaming because he's like, yo, this is an anticipated movie. The pirates are gonna want it. Like it's gonna hit the internet, and no one's ever gonna sign up for the streaming app, and they're not gonna go to theaters for it because they can just get it off the internet. And that's true. Like when the smaller you are, sometimes the easier it is for you to do like limited releases in that niche thing because there's no demand. There's not as much demand for your shit, and your fans are probably less likely to upload your shit anyway because they like, nah, fuck you. You like people have that sense of loyalty when they're part of like a smaller core audience. They're like, nah, fuck you. You ain't up on this. Like I'm not about to like make it easy for you to listen to this shit. You wasn't paying attention to it. So it's a mixed bag, but like, yeah, Drake, whatever he decides to do next, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I mean, personally, I don't think Drake's going to try to trailblaze no shit because he seems to me like he just wants to be the biggest artist and make as much money as possible.
I think it's going to be an idea that we
come in here again.
I think it's going to be an idea that we mentioned like a few years ago. Like Drake really might be signed to Apple Music Records. You know, he might say, you know, this is my exclusive platform.
Yeah. And Apple has the cash to pull that off. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting few years in the music game. Like I always tell like whatever musical artist that I know and speak to, I tell them like, man, just focus on growing your audience, man.
Mm-hmm.
Get you a loyal fan base and work that shit because That shit can be here today, gone tomorrow. Of course, if it's here today and you smart with your money, like Chamillionaire was,
yeah,
you can make some bread. Chamillionaire got his here today and turned around and invested that shit. He ain't had to put a rap album out since.
Now you're a venture capitalist.
He out here giving people money to invest in their shit. But all right, so speaking of Lupe, as Fee reminded us, you would think Fee wouldn't have to remind me and Ronnie of this, but today is the 13th anniversary of The Cool. We talked about this project on here in Lupe kind of at length, but noteworthy project was like I think I heard Lupe once mention that when they got signed to Atlantic, they started working on The Cool. Like for the most part, Food and Liquor was already done. That's why you got that quick turnaround. I think it's like a 15-month turnaround between the two albums. Like he pretty much was able to turn around and have his next album already working while he was on tour because they already knew what the fuck they wanted to do with Food and Liquor. So, I mean, we've had the classic debate here, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
But Fee, since you're the newer one on here, and people may not know your thoughts on Lupe, what are your thoughts on this album?
I don't know. I think I was heavy into the like the blog sites when this album came around. So like I was looking at all the different meanings people had. Like I was really into this CD, like about like songs like The Coolest. What are the other ones on here? Streets on Fire, I think. The Die, like how they all put you on game, like how they were all telling a story about what the Cool is, and that was following from the Cool song on Food and Liquor. So I really enjoy this album. It's probably my second favorite album from him. Text on Youth is my favorite. I think me personally, I think it's a classic. I don't think there's maybe what is that song? What's one of these songs I can't stand on here? Gotta Eat. Even though it's clever, I just think it's extremely.
I love that. That's one of my favorite Lupe records.
I hate that song.
Man said life ain't easy. Niggas gotta eat. That's when shit get greasy.
I don't want to hear this nigga rapping about food, bro.
It was a heartbreaker and a large shaker.
I don't want to hear this man rap.
The funniest part of that shit to me is Lupe said he was literally eating a cheeseburger and that song just came to him. Like he said he was just sitting down enjoying a burger and the whole narrative just popped into his brain. Like
but I do think the singles on here, Superstar, Paris, Tokyo, High Definition, Hip Hop Saved My Life. I think it was a well put together album. It's probably, I don't know if it's commercial wise, it's his best put together album because it does. The commercial songs don't take away from the integrity of the album, and I love that about this album.
So something you said when you were talking about the it being a concept album and it coming off the Cool. Have you ever heard the leaked version of Food and Liquor?
Yes, but it's been a while before I heard it.
If not,
I heard it.
I can send it to you. So the leaked version of Food and Liquor actually was the concept album that the Cool was purported to be. Like it's almost all about the Cool, the streets, the game. Like he's got so many songs on there that like lean into that. The Cool just happened to be the Cool and He Say She Say just happened to be the two that made it because He Say She Say is about Michael Young history as a kid and his dad leaving him. So he actually had like this whole narrative built into Food and Liquor, and then when they had to change it when it leaked, he ended up putting this album out. But like the first thing I heard off the Cool was Eastern Michigan University did in-state tuition for Ohio students, and one of my old high school classmates went to Eastern Michigan. And Lupe was doing a college tour, and
I was just about to say this.
He rapped the entire Coolest part, and this is before
this video leaked on all hip hop.
Huh?
Like he was in a promenade and he was just rapping around a group of students and and somebody was recording it and at the time we didn't know what it was, but we just were hearing the bars and was like, whoa, this sounds gonna be serious.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that shit is like, I was like, what is this? And then when I heard the Cool, I was like, oh, that's what this was. So like, yeah, I have very fond memories of this album. Like to me, it's a classic. I think the only reason it might not be a bona fide hip hop classic is because it was so soon after Food and Liquor that like the shock value of what Lupe doing had worn off. So I don't think the culture really embraced it the way they embraced Food and Liquor. Because to me, it's better than Food and Liquor. But I think Food and Liquor was such a breath of fresh air for 2006. Like you got this is 2 months before like Jay wasn't officially back yet. It's 2 months before Kingdom Come. We're heavy in the middle of the Snap era. Like hip hop really embraced Food and Liquor in a way that I don't think they embraced the cool, because it was just like, oh, it's a year after Food and Liquor came out. This is what we expect from Lupe, not realizing that like that was kind of like the last of well, not the last of, but it was like the last album that we would get from what Lee and Chuck dubbed as Low Cut Lou, before we would get dreaded Lasers Lupe. Like it was the last of Low Cut Lou. I mean, really the last of Low Cut Lou was Friend of the People. Like that was truly the last of Low Cut Lou. But like I think like because I remember when it came out, I'm like, damn, I can't wait for the next one to come out. And then Friend of the People came out, and I was like, oh yeah, Lupe on. And then like everything that came after that, I was like, damn. So yeah, I like to me it's a classic, but I
wonder there's supposed to be like a follow-up album to continue the story after this. What was it?
He wanted to do he just wanted to do a triple album to end his career out. Like he was trying to end his contract with Atlantic, and he wanted to drop LUP End, which was Everywhere, Nowhere, and Death. I think it was END. And Atlantic was like, absolutely not. We will not let you drop a triple album to finalize your contract with us. Because he ended up with what, 3 more albums from Atlantic? Lasers, Food and Liquor 2, and Tetsuo and You.
Yeah.
Like so yeah, he was trying to end his career, and Atlantic said absolutely not. They weren't allowing him to do it. And then we got Lasers, which, like I said, Lasers, I hated it when it came out, but like when I saw Lupe perform in Birmingham and he was doing some of those joints off Lasers, I was like, okay, he knew what he was doing with this album. He can perform those records live forever, and they will always go up because people know him. The show goes on, goes up live. And I don't really like that song. But it's catchy live, it works.
I hate it, man.
Like he had the cheesy Trey Songz feature on there. Like Lasers was,
bro. If you watch that video, that nigga Trey Songz, it looks like it's his song, and it's the same with that song with J. Cole off of Story.
Yeah,
Can't get enough.
Can't get enough.
They sound like they was just Trey Records, and it was like, hey, rap these.
But if you look at the videos, that nigga Trey Songz look like he's the fucking star of the video, bro.
Look, Lee, I agree with you, but live it goes up. It goes, and here's the other thing. Kids love that song. Like that song.
That's why kids don't deserve opinions.
But like that song came on, and my ex's son and my niece, who were the same age, I think they were both like 3 or 4 at the time. They were just walking around singing that all day. Like the whole rest of the day, they're like, all right, already the show go. And it's like,
that's where you should have stepped in and be like, hey, let me play you Modest Mouse Good News for People. Let me play you the better version of that.
But that's the thing. Like they heard me play Lupe records constantly. Like I was always listening to Lupe. But now, to be fair, they also loved what's the Neptunes joint off of Food and Liquor? Right.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I always forget the name of it, but they love that one too. Like Lupe could make a catchy radio joint, but yeah, I hate that album, but he knew what he was doing. He could tour off that album and it'll work. He can throw The Show Goes On and whatever white fans and casual hip hop fans is there because they were dragged by their hip hop fan of a boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. And they'll enjoy that one. It goes up live. I hate to admit that shit. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I always forget the name of that fucking song. But yeah, I got you.
Neptunes gave that man their worst beat ever.
hey, but Lupe was rapping on that motherfucker.
He was going off, but by Neptune standards.
Yeah, it wasn't a good beat. Like that sounds like a leftover NERD beat. Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, like, Food and Liquor or the Cool, and not the leak version, the one that he put out to the mainstream.
See, it's so hard for me because both of them albums are like both of the versions of Food and Liquor are like one to me.
Don't make me
But-
choose between my sons. Yeah.
Man, because the only reason I would probably pick the Cool is because theme music to a drive-by technically did not make Food and Liquor. Even though to me it's the de facto Food and Liquor intro. But who the hell is Polar Nights?
What?
He said epic cam setup. It is the perfect evolution of beards. So I guess he's going Ronnie to me. It's the perfect evolution of beards. Hey, I don't know who you are, but bravo. Bravo, sir or ma'am or non-binary reading. Like bravo.
Hey, that was a good one right there.
I was not expecting that shit at all. That might be the best comment we've ever gotten on this show.
Oh man!
Thank you. That just made my evening.
Lee says cool. I think I say the cool too. Honestly, even though I hold Food and Liquor fine, I just think the Cool. I don't know. To me, concept albums will always get the nod over me. Like
if we go on with the version that was,
I'm saying the mainstream version. Now I'm not. That's why I didn't. Because if the leak version, the Food and Liquor, everybody's gonna say the leak version of Food and Liquor. That's why I was like, "Good morning from North Norway." Hey, good morning.
Yeah, shout out. We got people listening in Norway. Shout out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to Cool. Even like, so,
yeah, because
I don't know.
Okay, so that ran from Streets on Fire to Put You on Game. Okay, that's like no plays off. Okay, it's still tough though.
Like, I think for me, like Food and Liquor just holds a special place because of where I was when it dropped. Like it came out exactly a week before my 19th birthday. I just moved to Birmingham, and I was more excited for this album than mostly because I had written Lupe off because this dude that me and my brother grew up with was like touting him in like 2005, and because he liked him, he was like that annoying rap fan. And I was like, nigga, I'll never listen to this nigga because of you. And then right before I moved to Birmingham, my dude Joe was listening to Lupe's Ignorant Shit freestyle, and I was like, "Hey, who is this?" He was like, "Lupe," and I was like, "That nigga, what's his face was always talking about?"
Yes.
And then he like played me a couple more records. I was like, "Yo, burn that shit for me," and I listened to that all summer. But sitting back, decade and a half later, I probably got to go to Cool.
Yeah.
Even the rock song on the Cool is fire.
Ooh, it's still tough. All right, I will say this. All right. I'm gonna give you my answer, but let me say this. To me, the retail version of Food and Liquor still holds a special place because it still has my favorite Lupe concept in the verse. You know, so it seems sewing jeans for some. Yeah. So I can't get that out of my head, and
Jay-Z being back for that.
Yeah, and the Cool, but the Cool has like. To me, the Cool has like one or two tracks too many, but I still got to lean the Cool because just being in that moment, I think we forget that was a truly like special moment. Like we were witnessing like somebody who was like on the cusp of being like, I mean, and he still is like Lupe's had a great career, better than most rappers. But at that moment, we were on the cusp of seeing something like truly special. So going back to that moment in my head, like. And the buzz that was around the Cool at the moment, yeah, I'm gonna take the Cool because you rarely get that type of hype about an album, and it pays off because Adrian, I know you said like a lot of people didn't embrace that, but in my like small circle, like a lot of people like actually came, a lot of people actually came around to Lupe with the Cool because I played people like Put You on Game, and I was like, hey, Lupe.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think like mainstream wise, people. I'm talking about like I don't think hip hop really gave it the reverence at the time because it was expected of him at that point. Like it wasn't a surprise anymore. So I think the album was taken for granted, and people like I think the blog nerds did it, and like I mean, let's just go through this run. Like if we take out, the Free Chili. I mean, and even we take out the first two tracks, Go Go Gadget Flow, The Coolest, Superstar, Paris, Tokyo, High Definition, Gold Watch, Hip Hop Saved My Life, Intruder Alert. Like I haven't gotten to a song that I skipped yet. Like Go Go Gadget Flow is top tier rapping. The Coolest top tier rapping. Superstar is a bop. Paris Tokyo is a dope. High Definition is one of my favorite. Like that to me, that's an underrated Lupe joint. Gold Watch, Hip Hop Saved My Life, Intruder Alert, Streets on Fire, Lil Weapon.
Yeah, okay, the cool.
Yeah, it's
cool.
it's
Cool.
Bro,
Cool.
the dog, like, bro, I heard like a group of cows, like, bro, like, man, Lupe
man, we finna go up in the club, show a little love, get something to eat, holla at some girls, snatch up a pair, leave out of there, put some dro in the air, and go against, and then here come, hey, the nigga, they.
Bro, you know who's super underrated on
Jim
Lupe's
Stones?
career? That absolutely, because on these first 2 albums, he was floating. He was like really blessing this nigga with the
even
hook,
on the Fahrenheit tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, his own Fahrenheit tape was pretty hard. Well, it wasn't Fahrenheit, but his mixtape he had on First and 15th.
No, he had a Fahrenheit tape.
That motherfucker was with
He had 2. He had Fahrenheit, and then he had what was the other one? The Elephant in the Room.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the name of it.
Yeah, but nah. Jim Stones is like
it was like Jay and Beans almost. It was like Lupe was Jay and
Bro,
then
We own.
Yeah.
We the 85 Bulls, 05 Sox with a whole lot of pull, all rolled up, and it's no letting up. If you smart, you want to be the 07 us, man. I'm on like, man, yeah.
But Jim Stone's on his own Free Chili version off one of the mixtapes. Man, I was like, yo, Lupe should have rapped to this, bro.
Yeah. When I first heard the beat, I was like, yo, is he gonna rap to this? Like, this beat is like fucking, this beat is fire. Like, nigga, why are you not? Why? And then like on Fahrenheit 5, Untamed Beast, like them niggas on the Dynasty instrumental is like this nigga Jim Stones was going in, and Lupe just come in all casually. See, I give you 10 albums that's like 1,000 minutes, that add 1,000 minutes with it, and just like goes off on some other shit. It's like, damn, nigga, like, like, yeah, man, yeah.
But hold on.
Yeah, I have to listen to Droga's Wave. I don't
see. To me, man, the first half of Droga's Wave sounds like Furious Styles. Like it sounds like it sounds like
so. Here's my thing with Droga's Wave, and I put a post about this on the site. Lupe kind of gave us 2 albums in one, two to 3 albums in one, depending on how you want to view it. But the first half is that long form, long change narrative, which from purely a pen standpoint, masterclass. The first half of that album is mural in album form. It's so densely layered, and Lee has been supposed to make a video essay about wave files for I don't know how long, and I don't know if he like just doesn't think he can do it or is still digging into it. But if you and I say this to say, like, if you don't know, Lee makes great video essays about like damn near everything that he decides to do. Like, he's very talented at that. So this isn't a dig at him. This is me big upping him. But like, I remember him saying he was going to take on the task of doing like a video essay of like breaking down either was it all the Wave album or the long change narrative, or was it just wave files? Let me know in the comments, Lee. But he was supposed to do that, and it's like so densely layered that it's not easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so the first half of that is one album, and then when you get to XO, it becomes a different album. Like XO reminds me of Streets on Fire. It's like almost the same thing. Like he's using a similar flow. It's about some like it on its surface. It's about like alien abductions, but really it's about a girl taking ecstasy and wanting to feel like elevated and shit. And then like the run that he gets on from Cripple. Hold on, let me pull this up.
Yeah, I think that's one that Lee really likes going to is Cripple.
50 pages long. Good God.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's probably not even like a fraction of like the shit that Lupe put into it. But like the when you get to XO, so like the run from Cripple, King Nas, quotations from Chairman Fred, Happy Timbuktu Day, and Mural Jr. is probably that might be the best 5-song stretch of Lupe's like career. Like, he's rapping at a high level. And the thing I've always said about Lupe is you can tell in his voice when he's back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
on Lasers and Food and Liquor 2, like Lupe didn't sound like he enjoyed rapping. And right before Tetsuo and Youth came out, I heard with Old School Love, and I was like, oh, Lupe's back. I was like, he's back. I know this album's gonna be good just because of the way his voice sounds. Mm-hmm. It wasn't nothing he said on Old School Love, even though Old School Love is a dope Lupe record. It wasn't nothing he said. It was all in how his voice sounded and how he just sounded like he was happy to be back rapping. And I was like, oh, Lupe's back. Like we don't have to worry about it. And then I heard Mural, and I was like, yep, nigga's definitely back.
And by the way, let me toss this in here too, because I've argued with both of you on this, like, and I think it comes across as if I hate Droga's Wave. I think Droga's Wave is a dope album. I just think like you know me, like I'm all about like the composition of an album. So I think the first half of the album is like so dense. By the time I do get to that 5-song run, I'm like I just ran a mile. So
yeah, like me, I don't listen to the first half of that album at all. Like it's old me would have loved that. Now I don't, like, because I musically am so like hip hop isn't like the first thing I listen to musically. Like, even though I can appreciate that, I don't want to have to, like, I don't want to put in the effort to listen to the Wave narrative. Like, even though Wave Files is one of the best lyrical demonstrations I've ever seen. Like, this is including Mural. Like, Wave Files is like up there. But like me, if I want to listen to that album, I started at XO and I go from there. Like, XO is track 13, it's 24 tracks. So me, I start at that back 12 of the album and listen to it from there. Cause I don't have time to be listening to that nigga talking about Sun God Sam and the
goldfish and starfish and
the shrimp is my niggas, and that's a dope concept. But
and by the way, what he's doing there conceptually is dope. Like, it's absolutely dope.
Yeah, well, actually, I take that back. I'll listen to Allen Forever, then I'll go to XO.
Yeah,
because Allen Forever and Janila Forever are both linked in what they are conceptually. But like, yeah, Lupe did some of his best work on that. But I will say, like, to Fee's point, like Tetsuo and Youth probably doesn't get enough love in his catalog.
Yeah, it was like because I think a lot of us were like, wait, is this like the return to form? Like, can I really lean into this album? But yeah, it kind of gets overlooked when we talk about his entire body of work, because for some reason I guess some people still don't take it seriously. But no, it's definitely a very dope album.
I think him putting out Drogas Light after that, like,
see that
he trolled with that. He put it out because he wanted people to look at Tetsuo with Youth better, but I think that hurt because it's like, all right, I'm not gonna take this album seriously because you gave us this trash album right afterwards when he'd have been better off putting out a real album. So that people could have been like, oh shit, let me go back and see what he did before that. Because man, Drogas Light disappointed me. So I fought like hell thinking that album was gonna be good going into it, even though every song I heard off of it was trash. I was like, nah, man, Lupe's just man. He back, man. He wouldn't do that to us.
Yeah, I think I heard like one day I was on Shuffle and I heard the song off of there. It had I think Ty Dolla $ign featured on it, and I was like, where the fuck did this come from? I was like, what are they doing with Ty Dolla $ign? Like,
I think the cover had like a camel toe on it or something, like an actual camel's toe, like not like
No, Drogas Light just had like, it was like a little
an Asian symbol.
No, I'm talking about the single cover for that, because it was like the track he did with Ty Dolla $ign.
Oh yeah, NGL. Yeah, like it's Dopamine Lit, NGL, Promise, Made in the USA, Jump. I hated that fucking song. City of the Year, High, Tranquilo with Big Crit and
Rick Ross. That was the other song. I was like, yo, why is he doing songs with? I mean, I know he has a street background, but I'm like, bro, why are you doing songs with Rick Ross? Like, why are you in this bag right now?
And then he has another song with Ty Dolla $ign called Kill. Speaking of, like, Deliver is one of the, like, I love Deliver on Tetsuo with You, but having Ty Dolla $ign sing about the pizza man not coming to the hood.
Hey, that's my shit, bro. Hey.
It's one of the most unlikely uses of a nigga who you go to for a banger on the hook. Like, And then the funny part of this shit is like one day Lupe was just online talking about it. He was like, so what if I told y'all that he's not saying the pizza man doesn't come here anymore? He's saying the piece of man doesn't come here. I'm like, Lupe, come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. No.
Pizza man don't come here no more. Like this nigga Ty Dolla Sign.
Ty Dolla Sign is really like crooning, like
crooning his light
like he just looking at the lyrics like you
he was legit like I felt that nigga pain. Like he was really like that. Like we can't get pizza because the pizza man, like the pizza man don't fuck with us, man.
We can't get no fucking Domino's over here.
No Little Caesars, no DiGiorno. Like all we can get is DiGiorno. We can't get Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Giordano's, none of that shit. Nigga. We can get DiGiorno at the crib because the pizza man don't fuck. And Ty Dolla Sign is like legit in the back crooning.
Yes.
So sad because the pizza man don't fuck with us no more. Like damn.
Hey, as soon as we get off, I'm going to play that.
Like nah, for real.
Yeah. I gotta let that run, bro.
All right, Joe says, why does Lupe like trolling? Because Lupe's a troll.
He is.
Like
I think his fans are too fucking serious. Like
yes.
Like his hardcore
that's
fans
exactly
are
why
like
he started trolling.
Yeah, they're the most serious people. Like under his Instagram, Lupe be dogging the shit out of these people. Like I go to his page when I want to laugh. Like hey, you don't get the vaccine, you ain't coming to my show. And they be really underneath his post arguing with this man, bro. Like the rappers I've seen that have the two most antagonistic relationship with their fans is Lupe and Button, because Button hates his fucking fans too, like his rap fans. like he's made legit songs about like, yo, like when that nigga was doing the Move music, every time that nigga got in a relationship, people would be like, yeah, man, can't wait for that girl to cheat on him or dump him so we can get a Move music for her. And he'd be like, yo, why are you wishing bad on my relationships? Because you want me sad so I can make sad music.
Fans would tell Budden like, hey man, this mixtape helped me get through something. Budden would be like, oh man, that's terrible, my bad. That sounds awful.
The funniest thing I think I ever seen was and I agree with this shit, but somebody was talking about 10 minutes and somebody was like, hey man, that song almost gave me cancer. Fuck that song. Was like, yo, I used to run through a pack of Black and Miles because of that song. Fuck that song. I see that shit. I was like, damn, me too. That song really could have almost gave me cancer in 2010 because I used to be in the garage with a box of Black and Miles just listening to that shit in the dark.
Nigga said, I just need 10 minutes, bro.
Oh shit. I completely skipped over what this man Polar Nights was talking about. My girlfriend told me if I get a beard, she grow a 70s.
We don't need to.
Yeah, man. I know it's Norway, but yeah, man. If you're still watching, yeah, don't grow the beard, man. I gotta rewatch the Twitch stream and take a screenshot of that him with the evolution of the beard shit. That really is like probably the best comment.
That's probably the best comment we've received.
That shit was fucking great. Polar Nights, if you still in here, how did you find us? We're like what how? If you really in Norway, like how did you? I need to know. Like, let us know. We might gotta send you a t-shirt because that made me fucking laugh. That was that. And the funny part is it works either way. If he's where I am and I'm where he is, the only way it doesn't work is if we're lined up and Ronnie's in the middle.
Yeah.
Like either way it works is the evolution of the beard. That is fucking hilarious. And for as funny as genetics is, this nigga's beard has been like that for ever. I just got this probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, my little brother was like 7 with like a neck beard, and I'm like just now growing this out.
Yeah, like it's unfair. Like this, like I was talking to another one of our friends, and I was like, yeah, this nigga had a mustache when he was like 3. He was like, damn, when I met him, he did have a mustache. I'm like, I'm saying. Like I have no memories of this nigga without a mustache. Like I'm being dead serious. Meanwhile, like there's pictures of me when I'm like 22 and I got like 3 chin hairs and shit. Like nigga, I just got this.
But when I was 18, I had a whole David Banner past Troy nasty long goatee, bro.
Man, I had the long goatee phase for me. It's so many pictures of me with nothing but just like here and the long goatee.
Hey, you looking like looking like the dude from Kill Bill, bro.
Look like Tech Nine.
Like just out here filthy with it. That was my goddamn that was my signature for the longest, nigga. Just long goatee. Used to come down to like right here. It was like 18 strands of hair. Oh shit. All right, we got anything else?
I think that's a wrap. I guess we could plug the show.
Yeah, I was about to do that. Mandalorian finale recap. Catch that on Sunday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central Time. Probably the best episode of the Mandalorian series.
Oh,
like ever. Like, I mean, Ronnie already knows the spoiler.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
he got hit by a stray on the spoiler on accident.
Yeah. Yeah, it was friendly fire too. So yeah.
But yeah, probably probably the best episode of the series of all 16 that has been. Album of the Year show on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Album of the Year show on Monday. Me,
Fee, Ronnie, and maybe 1 or 2 special guests will run through our 10 favorite albums of the year. Tuesday, on last week's episode, they will be discussing their 10 favorite TV shows of the year. I'm part of the last week's episode crew, but I don't watch enough TV to give my opinion on 10 TV shows because I've seen like 5 TV shows this year that aren't like rewatches of something I've already watched a million times before. But they'll be doing that. Wednesday will be Don't Call It a Podcast, just the everything else recap of 2020. I might hop on there. And then
yeah, might as well. I feel like it's a lot to talk about for 2020, so might as well.
Yeah, so we're off. We'll be off Thursday and Friday. So yeah, this is the last regular episode of Politics as Usual for the year. We will be back at some point in the new year. Yeah, we got any. My boy Kyle says special guest. Yeah, we tried to have you on last week, Kyle, but now Kyle, we'll get you on again. Kyle was on a previous Politics as Usual. Previous Don't Call It a Podcast actually when we did our regional brackets for rappers. Kyle came on as a West Coast correspondent. But yeah, so we'll in the new year we'll probably play with this format some more, bring some more people on, all that fun shit. But yeah, y'all got any parting words for our last regular episode of the year?
Nah, that's it. Just make sure you check us out next week.
Yeah, check us out next year. Share this with your friends. We appreciate all the love and support. Shouts to Polar Knights in Norway. That really made my evening. Real shit. Follow me on Twitter. I will 4 eyes, Roman numeral 4_eyes. I will send you a shirt, man. That was awesome. Buy a shirt. Buy a hoodie. Great. People helping people. 937.com.
Buy black.
Buy black. Support black businesses. All that fun shit. But yeah, if we don't have anything else.
This nigga, bro.